Shine with the wickedness deep in your heart. Modern day wickedness is all you've been taught. Lie to your neighbors so you get ahead. Modern day trickery is all you've been fed.
We have with us here today Fabulous F-A-B-O. He is a big fit icon coming all the way from the east side of Brevoort House.
Would you like me to show them how the sign of the curse works? This is the sign of the horns. A curse sign, the two fingers extended. This way, spread apart for sort of shotgun blast, you know.
I always figured if I ever met the devil, it'd have dirty fingernails. Go on.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Where?
Dirty fingernails.
Well, that's because I've been fooling around with your equipment.
Never mind. Don't blame it on the studio. Go on with it.
All right.
So that's the sign of the horn, and then what happens? Is that it?
Well, there are other ones, too.
Yeah, what are the other ones?
The other ones, one of them's the pox sign. That's 3 fingers extended.
A pox on you?
A pox on you. During the Middle Ages, this was...
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Motives and thoughts. Check your motives and thoughts.
Would you bump a song like that?
I mean, I wouldn't bump a song like that because I can't relate. But I would push it to the masses and push it to the audience that caters to that. I would push it to the masses and push it to the audience that caters to that.
I would push it to the masses and push it.
We're in the era of the androgynous rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys, like look at Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne had on women's jeggings. Seriously, he had on women's jeggings. He openly kissed baby in the mouth.
Yeah.
Like we don't know. Like what do we know? These guys are androgynous. Drake is an androgynous rapper.
Is an androgynous rapper?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Cause he looks like a butch lesbian. Like you know, like he does. He looks like a butch lesbian. He moves on a lot of levels like a butch lesbian. Like these guys they don't come across as overly manly to me, but they're just like in the middle. Like to me, they're androgynous. They look. You can't really tell if they're guys or girls. At first glance, you're like, what is that? That's the first thing you say when you see the TV. You're like, what is that? That's just the era we live in, man.
I was the manager of Zodiac Productions, which Zodiac Productions' name's been changed since then. I'm not even sure what they call it now, but it's the largest music conglomerate in the world. It owns RCA Records, Columbia Records, Motown Records, owns almost all the concert booking agencies in the United States. And that's not even the name of the company that owns it. The name of the company that owns it is Brenner Enterprises. And Brenner Enterprises is owned by Chase Manhattan. Chase Manhattan's owned by Standard Oil, and Standard Oil's owned by the Lords of London. You can track it on back. You kind of get the idea after a while. But I was the managing president of Zodiac Productions. It's one of my jobs as being one of these 13 people. Thus, I got to know many of the people who produce music and sing the music and play the music that you play. Now, one of the closest friends that I got during that time that I obtained was a man named David Crosby. Crosby's still Nash and Young. I saw David the day before Christmas last year, talked with him. I got him away from this witch that he had with him. He told her to go shopping. We were in West Hollywood, and I was witnessing around to people I knew. We went off in this store, and we started talking. I said, David, I'd like to ask you a couple questions. I said, I already know the answers, but I've been gone for 5 years. I'd like to know if certain things are still the way they were when I left. I said, now I'll have to explain some of this when I'm done, because you're not going to understand it all unless you know something about music. I said, do they still take the master to the temple room? Dave said, yeah. I said, do they still have the coven conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. I said, now, I got to know something. What's the main reason for rock music? He said, come on, Lance, you know what the reason is. I said, please, David, I don't want to guess. Tell me what the main reason is. He says the same as when you were in, so that we can play spells on people that we couldn't cast spells upon. I'll explain what that means in a minute. I said, okay, one last thing. I've been hearing that you must be an initiated witch now to get a record contract. He said, that's right. He says, many of us that weren't total witches have to be witches now in order to produce music. I said, thank you. The master is a tape about as big as the top of this podium that looks like an overgrown 8-track. That the album is cut on and is placed in a machine that produces and presses the records and the 8-tracks and cassettes that you buy. After it's been recorded, it's taken in. This is why a master is cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium, that is in every one of the major music companies, behind locked doors up in the executive office, and it's placed on an altar sitting in the north of the room, and a pentagram engraved in the floor. And 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master. As I tell many Christian parents, you can go home and count your kids' records, probably yours too, and count how many demons at least are there. If that's too hard for you to believe, I'm sorry. That's why they do it. Much of the songs are written in what we call witch language. Give you kind of an idea. You talk, many of you talk on a CB, unless you know what a smoky is, and a 10-4, and a front door and back door and rocking chair and these type of things. You don't know what you're talking about. Same with witches. When you're in the first or second level, you have to learn over 2,000 words that said by anybody else means something totally different than when you say them. Elton John has said he's never written a song or sung a song that wasn't in witch language.
And we're seeing the byproduct of men that were raised by their mothers and their aunts and just having their sisters around and no male figures in the house. And I think we're seeing the byproducts of that now.
Now to our I-Team investigation, killer beats. Rap music videos about murders in Jacksonville fuel fire in the community.
Mothers of the victims are speaking out, saying the videos and lyrics have gone too far, giving specific details about the horrific crimes. I-Team investigator Corley Peel is joining us live to show us how this deadly music videos, how they are really damaging families. Corley?
Well, Tarek and Stacy, many of these parents I've spoken with are still waiting for arrest, or they're waiting for a trial for their son's murders. While they wait for justice, music videos from rival rap groups in Jacksonville have gained popularity across the country with songs glorifying their son's murders. The music and beat are catchy. Gaining millions of views and plays on YouTube and streaming services.
Got shot, Tate got shot, Desi got dropped, damn, Nate got popped.
Local rappers rising to fame with lyrics about murders of young men in Jacksonville.
Queso, and you know we smoke little biggie.
The victims behind the lyrics are sons. What is it like when you see your son's name and his murder talked about in these rap songs?
It's like somebody taking an open wound or a healing wound and opening it back up and stabbing at it over and over again.
I hope and pray that, you know, the person or the persons who are rapping about, you know, that they understand that you have a mom too, and would you want your mom to feel the way the other moms feel?
JSO says the different rap groups known as ATK and KTA are rivals on the streets. ATK and KTA, those are the groups that we hear about a lot. Are they the biggest problem for Jacksonville?
They have been recently, for the most part.
In this music video,
And now I wonder what I said, got a low, I told her drop that. FNSP went in the head and got the kite back.
the man in the green shirt is Kenyatta Bullard. He's known as rapper Young and Ace. He was a sole survivor in a deadly quadruple shooting at the Town Center in 2018. In the video, he wears an ATK chain around his neck. The lyrics reference 3 men killed in shootings.
Who I smoke, baby, who I smoke, Tiki, who I smoke, Lana.
One of the victims, known as Bibby, is 16-year-old Adrian Gaynor.
He was joy. All he did was laugh and dance.
He was shot and killed in the Hilltop Village apartments in 2019.
Nobody can do anything worse to me than killing my child.
It took 2 years for an arrest to be made. The man accused of killing him is Hakeem Robinson, known as rapper Queso.
can never play with queso. Smoke Dirk and Bibby to the face, though.
Robinson is charged with second-degree murder. Gaynor's mother, Elizabeth Gaynor, says Robinson and other rappers continuously mocked her son's death in music videos and on social media for years.
And you know we smoke little Bibby.
Specifically, what has been said about your son in these songs?
I've heard anything from where he was shot. I've heard what his last words were.
Baby had a close cut, so I wasn't surprised.
This is not the only murder Robinson is accused of. He is also charged with second-degree murder in the 2020 death of Charles McCormick, a.k.a. rapper Little Buck. His father, Abdul Robinson Sr., and his brother, Abdul Robinson Jr., are also arrested in connection to the crime. JSO says the Robinsons are linked to the group ATK. JSO Chief of Investigations TK Waters says ATK is linked to more than a dozen murders and other crimes committed in response to perceived insults.
It's a range of things. It could be drugs. It could be something as simple as me making a rap song about you and you don't like it. So one of your friends or one of your associates says we need to get back and we're going to do something, and they'll start a shooting war.
Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker are also charged in connection to McCormick's murder. This surveillance video shows two suspects running through a backyard after the shooting. Investigators say they held a woman hostage before taking off. Hakeem Robinson's attorney says ATK is a certified business, not a gang. You can see ATK is listed here on Apple Music right underneath Queso's songs. But if you look at the Life of ATK website, the front page says opening soon. The group KTA is also not shy about naming murder victims in its music videos. This video was made in response to the Who I Smoke video that is linked to ATK.
Leaky got shot. What the hell? Fast face, hot on gang.
One victim heard in KTA's songs is 30-year-old father of 12, Freddie Patterson, who was shot and killed in November 2020. His mother, Shantina Benton, says she doesn't know who the rappers are or why they would be talking about her son's death.
I mean, it's not a funny thing that somebody's dead. Somebody got killed. That's not funny. They got loved ones, they got kids.
The lyrics also reference Corbin Johnson.
Corbin got kidnapped. They found his bones. He was right. Where's Corbin?
He was 18. He was just a baby.
Johnson's mother, Melissa Jackson, reported him missing in 2018. A year later, his remains were found in a wooded area. To this day, no arrests have been made.
In my heart, I kind of feel like it's someone that he knew, because Corbin wouldn't just leave with anyone.
Corbin got kidnapped, lost, got his found. Okay.
Despite the heartbreaking lyrics, Johnson's mother feels it could help police.
I feel sorry for them, actually. But for me, I want him to keep making the songs, because you're going to say the right thing at the wrong time that's going to be specific to the details that we don't know about Corbin's murder. So keep talking.
So Corley, since they're giving a lot of details about the murders in the music videos, can't police arrest them?
Tarek, actually, no. Right now, the music videos are merely describing crimes. They are not confessions. So JSO says the lyrics alone are not a chargeable offense. We will explain why coming up in about the next 20 minutes on News4Jax at 6.
With the wickedness deep in your heart, modern day wickedness is all you've been taught. Lie to your neighbors so you get ahead. Modern day trickery is all you've been fed. Motives and thoughts. Check your motives and thoughts.